Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome back to my playthrough of Pillars of Eternity. We've just explored the village of Gilded Vale, and now I'm going to make a character to go adventuring with me as a hireling out of the inn. Now, let's see what we've got in terms of quests. We've got Late for Dinner, which looks like it may be completed, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like that's completed, because it's grayed out. Against the Grain, wherein I need to talk to Swainer. And I may do that before I leave, too. I have no idea where to find Swainer. Maybe over at the inn. I don't know. Then we've got A Mother's Plea, where I need to travel south to talk to Marengo. Then I've got the Smith's Shipment, which is asking me to travel to Black Meadow. I've got a bunch of these over in the Hollowing of the Direwood where they've been grayed out. I mean, I've finished them. But then Visions of Whispers. I'm assuming this is going to be like the main quest here. Visions and Whispers. After surviving an explosion outside of the ruins of Silent Lists, I experienced a vision, and then I've got to seek help for my condition. Advised me to get some rest while I wait for permanent accommodations. You know, he advised rest, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that in terms of maybe I'll get a room at the inn before I make my character. But let's head over to the inn, see if we can't find what's-his-face. Is he back here anywhere? There's Tenfrith. Oh, I've got to talk to Tenfrith, too. Hell, there's still a lot to do in this thing. Alright, there's Swainer and his friends. Let's talk to Tenfrith, then we'll talk to Swainer. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I would let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. Minor positive. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Is that some sort of crafting thing that I need to worry about? I don't know. But the important part is that I'm back at the inn. Let's talk to Swainer.
Good day to you.
Don't know who you are, and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it, too. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Oh, I'd bet he has. All nobility, that Trumbull. 2 big, strong kids, purest soul in all of Gilded Vale. The dwarf sneers. Coward's been sending out messengers to handle his business. Well, you can go and tell him we haven't had a solid meal in days on account of him, and we can't afford a good drink on account of him. But we won't be bullied by some foreigner on account of him. What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Swainer considers it briefly. He looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and I'll feel up to trading words. We'll try to resolve this diplomatically. Because I'm a wizard, and I don't do the whole bar brawl shit right off the bat.
Hey,
Mostly because if a wizard gets into a bar brawl, shit gets set on fire. That's why they always step back a bit. Alright. I'd like to buy a round for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. The innkeeper frowns. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Here you are. Right then, here. 3 drinks for 3 fools. Just take care of them. They're a hot-tempered bunch. And at this point, I wish I could slip something into those drinks, because that would be awesome. I wonder if you can. That seems like the kind of option that you'd want in this kind of game. You know, like drop some random crap into that. That would be awesome. Oh well. Let's hold off on that for now. At some point, I got to figure out all the various consumables. Let's talk to Swainer. You again? What do you want now? I've brought drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Blackhound's shit beer. Gods, that's good. All right, then, you've got my attention. What is it that you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Okay? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Swainer eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs her hand around the inn? Well, I can't attest for that, but it looks like we've settled that. I will say I'd like a room, please. Certainly, you're always welcome. And this... Oh! So resting gives you bonuses, too. That's nice. I'm real short on gold right now, or I would do these, but right now I'll do the common room. Rest in the common room for 0 copper, yes. And that'll let me get all my spells and shit back up. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffering anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watch her. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and get my second person up. Now, I'm looking for a proper tank. Go with a level 1 adventurer for 250 copper. Get a proper tank. We'll go with a female this time. Next. We want to put her right up front and center. We'll go with a dwarf for now. Mountain dwarf or boreal dwarf? I'm thinking mountain dwarf. Yeah, thinking mountain dwarf. Basically, I just need a wall. But I'm thinking paladin. What's a barbarian like? Alright, that is actually looking really nice. Carnage. Thinking, yeah, the barbarian might work. Just somebody up front, center. Let's see, frenzy. It's basically a rage. And barbaric yell is a fear effect. And I would normally use a fear effect in order to split groups. But if the rest of my people are wizards, then a fear effect is going to kind of mess me up, because I'm going to want them clumped together so I can use my area of effects on them. So we'll go with frenzy. Alright. Might is highly recommended, Constitution highly recommended, Dexterity is recommended, Intellect is recommended, which is funny, but we're going to bump Might up first. I'm going to bump it to 16, Constitution. Now, I need to pull my Dexterity up above a certain amount, because that Dexterity gives you action speed, which should help to... action speed should help to attack faster, hopefully. And then what was the one that increases interrupt? Yeah, perception increases interrupt. So we'll make her have perception. That looks alright. I'm not really min-maxing because I have no idea how the math behind a lot of this stuff. It seems to me that you really want to keep them balanced. I want somebody dual wielding. But really it doesn't matter, does it? Using a spear and a dagger? Yeah, let's go with this. Rautai. Rautai. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Next. And this is going to be... I want to say a mercenary. Or a drifter. Let's go with a mercenary. Because that's what she is, basically a mercenary. That actually looks really nice. And, I don't know, the head. We'll go with that head. And that hair looks alright. So what's next? Name? There's no red-headed dwarf chicks in here. So I guess I'll go with whatever looks okay. We'll go with that.
My eyes are peeled. I've got this.
That works. And, you know what? I am not feeling particularly creative. And I really like to keep, like, the mercenaries that I make and the actual, you know, quest-based and storyline-based NPCs separate. So we'll just call her a dwarf chick. Yeah, we'll go with that. What's the worst that can happen? I lose some money, right? So let's take a look at her gear. She's level 1, so that may be an issue. Spear, one-handed average. What do we have that we can give her? Sword is one-handed average. Okay, she's got mail armor, which is good. A duelist's hat. Poof, now she's got a hat. Oh, what did it do to her hair? She's bald under that hat. Yeah, what's with this rapier? A rapier is fast, it does more damage, and it's accurate 1. So I'm thinking I'm going to use that instead of my spear. Got a ton of rapiers. Okay. I'm wondering, should I just dual rapiers on her? Will that work? It is, apparently same speed as the dagger. And then we will throw a bow or something, or we'll throw a crossbow in on her secondary so she can get a pot shot off before the combat starts. And I think that just about covers it for her.
As you wish.
Well, it looks like our party is ready to hit the road. Let's talk to the miller before we head out. Trumbull.
Good day, stranger.
I spoke to Swainer. And what did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why, that's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to them. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings, to show my appreciation, and you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Moderate positive. Glad to help. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. Trumbull smiles broadly. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. And, you know, good luck with your inn. Or with your miller. Oh, hold on. There's somebody there. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated, purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness, in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost?
Okay.
It is both, I think. Yes?
Yeah, I think I survived a biovac. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
And, do you realize your neck's broke?
Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me now.
Okay, so she does know she is dead. Alright. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Alright. I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
Okay.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Alright, so yet again, my main character is gifted with some sort of special ability. I'm not sure if I like that plot method. I mean, I understand it. Alright, what is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times.
Alright. That's one way to put it.
Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
So somehow I can see these disassociated
A
souls.
watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Okay. So let's see, what do you mean when all goes well? This is basically a big info dump.
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
So now I do have a quest, a main quest that sends me to the Black Meadow and beyond it. So I can do the Smith's thing on my way to do the main quest. But here's the trick, and I like to do these side quests in a method where I can go ahead and do them efficiently. You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die, and pick up pieces of others when we are born again. But less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No.
That's kind of sad, actually.
A very small few resist Remergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Alright, well, let's see. Do I want to know any more about her? Sure.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Alright. Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
And what happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Staring at your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
No, tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
You know, this lord here sounds like a real asshole. I'm just hoping I get a chance to do him in.
A student of the soul.
Okay.
Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
Okay, so now I know what she was.
The best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met. Empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories.
This is a very unique kind of magical background.
The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
Okay.
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Oh, okay. Well, I think for now that I'm done with her.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you all right? You seemed lost. You seemed lost just now. Just up front. I'm a watcher. arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin, and I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about them? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. He coughs. As you just demonstrated. Let's continue onward. So it looks like... Huh? What? Why did he say that? Oh well.
I have received confirmation that Lord Radric's heir was not born well. My lord has issued an injunction on all new homesteads until he can be assured that the village has been cleansed of all Eothasians and whatever other undesirables that have brought this curse upon his lands.
Okay, so yeah, he does sound like a real asshole.
If you left town as soon as possible. I would suggest returning to your old home. There will be no place for you here. You may stay at the inn until you can make the necessary arrangements, but
I want to know more about Lord Radric, because
I expect Lord Radric will be most thorough in his efforts.
I suspect I'm going to have to stop him at some point. Okay, he comes from a long line of nobles who have defended these lands since Aedar times. Radric II was an early supporter of Daiwardian independence during the Revolution, and the current lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Direwoods shortly after the war's end. Lord Radric has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to have been enough to protect his heir. Our age is the most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Red Saris decided that Waidwin, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Direwwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to the worship of Eothas and Direwwood. Lord Radric's forebears had all been Eothians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the temple of Eothas was torn down. He points to a few ruined walls near the tree. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and say goodbye for now, and we'll wander around doing our thing.
As you will.
So first we're going to go north and inspect that cave there, see if I can... that bear cave, see if there's anything worth doing in there. And then we'll run south and check up on that thing for what's her face? I can't even remember her name, the pregnant woman that asked me to look south. And it looks like I've leveled up again. I totally didn't realize that. So let's level up again. We'll pop our lore up again. Yeah, and then mechanics. Spells. Now, I have not taken a look at these second level spells yet. So let me take a moment to look through them. Paralyzed and sickens those nearby. So that actually may be better than Necrotic Lance. These are all really nice. But I think Binding Web is what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, no new talent unlocks. And then we've got to boost our other elf. Now, his lore is really nice, and his mechanics less so. I'll save that till next time. So yeah, I've got Rolling Flame on him, which is basically just Flaming Sphere, and then I will do Miasma of Dull-Mindedness. Okay, that will give me some sort of that will give me a lot of variation in what I can do. So I'm done. Aha! An enemy. A Zarep. Right here. Holy shit, there's a bunch of them. I'm gonna fall back. Except my dwarf. My dwarf's gonna move up front. And then she's gonna swiftly switch to her weapon set. Frenzy. And this should allow me to stop them right here. Was this Arcane Blast? And then same with my main. Boom. Now what does that leave him at? She's still doing great. And since this is a per combat thing, we may as well lay these on again. Boom.
Yes.
Dead easy. So what's up here? A dead man. Padded cap. Alright, the usual. Stick it in our stash. The struts and supports are large enough to be the ribs and vertebra of a dragon. Alright, gotta get our dwarf up front. Can I rearrange these? Yes, I can.
Yeah, sure.
I don't see the bears. Yeah, I do. Enemy sighted. Well, we'll move her out front. No, not everybody. Fucking A. Alright, she needs to attack them. Now, she's first level, so she's probably not going to be around for long if these bears are as kick-ass as I believe them to be. We will try to fetid caress one of them. And was that an AE? Anyway. And then my other elf is going to... Miasma of Dull-Mindedness right here. And this should hit both of them. Ow! Yeah, she's getting her ass kicked. Let's go Rage. Well, she's down. Okay, that was not great. Dwarf chick got taken out real quick. And this one's barely injured, so I have no idea how I'm going to deal with this. That bear looks to have been paralyzed. What if we... Can we paralyze this one too? Yeah, let's paralyze this one too. And then... Rolling Flame? Yeah. Let's do this.
Bastards.
Come on. Fucking A. Did he paralyze? Well, one of the bears is down. This other bear, I don't know if it's paralyzed or not. I guess we'll find out. We'll back up. And then we will basically drop this on the bear. Oh, fuck. He just killed somebody, didn't he? Man, this bear is just straight up owning me. Oh, wait a minute. I see what happened. I think I used the wrong... I know if this bear hits me, I'm fucked, so... Is this going to be able to do the job? This may be a short fight. Okay, this bear is badly injured, but my elf is still fucked up. Will this help any? Yeah, I'm dead. Almost lived. So I could set them up. I could set my crowd controls up here. And then trigger the bear. Move her to the front as usual. Okay, so what do I got here? I need a web, a binding web. Right here. And then Miasma of Dull-Mindedness, which is going to be like right in the same area. And then our dwarf is going to run forward and probably take a pot shot at one. So let's do this. Come on, where's the bear? Where's the bear? There we go. We need to run back. We're gonna be able to catch him up. Oh, god damn it! They just ignored that shit. Well, switch her back to melee and rage. Well, those bears didn't get the job done, so I'm gonna paralyze this bear that's up front. And I guess minor missile it too. Okay.
Still alive.
Okay, was that paralyzed? That's paralyzed. So, can I paralyze multiple things, though? That's the question, because, well, not when I've used all my spells. We'll try to bring this young bear down real quick first, then. So they totally ignored my webs and all that. So that didn't really do me a lot of good, did it? We'll pepper this thing with missiles again, then. Okay. So far, so good. One of them down. I may actually get it this time, because this bear is still paralyzed. Let's get the magic missile analog on that. Twice.
So much for you.
We should be able to take this bear down quick. Come on, it's just a bear. Okay. I say just a bear after having been repeatedly owned by them. Bear pelts. Younger bears. Does that mean there's an actual older bear in here? Let's see what's over here. Cave coral.
Yeah, no problem.
Holy shit, there's something in here. Mice crawl through eye sockets and over femurs. Cave coral. Got a chest with a great sword in it, which I'm not going to use. And then whatever this is. That's a soul. A figure drifts, suspended in the musty air of the cavern. Its form and features blur and twist in a cascading ripples of incandescence. You feel its energy eddying about your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In the moment of contact, you feel as if you have struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into the waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edges of your vision. You feel the sun on your back and the weight of a bow in your hand. You know suddenly that you have come a long way from the vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There is a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you stumbling back towards the exit, towards light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there is a sudden, terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, and fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lanced through with pain, but in a moment of terrible clarity you see your friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed in crimson to match his cloak, and I told you they murdered his ass. Alright. And then there is a great dark shape above you, and then there is more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back unto yourself with seeming resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, and a specter lingers. In the span of energy between you both, you feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. I met him on the road, your friend. A sudden, lashing anger emanates from the spirit. Rage and grief seem to pour from the gleaming figure like smoke. You're dead, spirit. There's nothing for you here. The spirit roils with thwarted anger and grief. Sorrow seems to seep into the very air of the cavern. The spirit dims and fades until you are alone once more. Well, wait a minute. There's still a body to loot. Oh, there's not. Can't even loot this shit. Alright. It highlights them. I just can't loot them. Well, that was certainly one way to deal with it. I guess it's back to town to confront those murderers, if they're even still there, and then off east towards the meadow. Alright, they're still there.
Stranger.
Hello again, Ingroid smiles. I hope Gilded Vale has been kind to you. I know what really happened in that bear cave, Naunton. The color drains from Naunton's face. I don't know what you mean. I told you the truth of it. Are you accusing him of something? Ingroid looks to Naunton, touching his arm. If this is about the accident, we're both grieving Pearlie's loss, but it was a wild animal's doing. Naunton shakes his head minutely. You see a tremble in his hands. What would make you suggest such a thing? Why did you do it? He was your friend. Naunton hesitates, and then his expression darkens. My friend, he was a cruel enough man to his friends. You didn't know him. You wouldn't defend him if you did. His hand falls to his sword belt. Naunton, wait! Ingroid raises a hand. I don't know what you saw in that cave, but it isn't what you think. Pearly, my husband, he was as much a beast as that bear. I tried to leave the first time I suffered his temper, but he wouldn't have it. She looked away, expression pain. Not and he. We met, and I knew I'd found someone special, someone kind, who cared for me. Please, all we want to do is leave this place, to start somewhere else. She looks down at the satchels. We've some coin saved up. You could have it if only you'd let us go. Alright. You know what? Sounds fair enough. Hand it over. Ingrid sags with relief. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. She fumbles through one of their bags and withdraws a heavy coin purse, which she hands to you, for your compassion. Let's go, Naunton. We've a long way ahead of us. Not a problem.
Yeah.
And then I will loot your house, because you will not be needing it anymore. The Direwood Part 2.
No problem.